and had written many books up to that point. And I'm wondering, as we sit here, Eugene, it's been 10 years since you worked your way through that process and found your rhythm of writing and so on. And I'm wondering, as you look back, what moments, what do you recall? What stays with you from those years? Really, the process of writing was a 10-year process, right?
Well, that was the Old Testament. I mean, that was the Old Testament.
The New Testament we blitzed through in 3 years.
3 years, yeah.
Eugene let me know immediately afterwards that we were going to slow the pace down after that.
Well, you know, John, I'm not sure we've ever talked about this, but when I became a pastor, truly a pastor, I didn't know how to be a pastor. And I'd thought all my probably college, seminary life, graduate school, that I would be a professor. And so I never thought of being a pastor. And when John let me know what I'd done in this Galatians thing, that was done as a pastor. I was mad. I was mad at my congregation. I'd been their pastor for 20 years. And this was in the 80s, 1980s, and there was a recession and a lot of violence in the cities all over the place. And my congregation was buying guns, digging bomb shelters, double locking their doors. And I'd been their pastor for 20 years. And I just got mad. You know, you're Presbyterians. Isn't God in control? Aren't you trusting anything? You have to go around fearful, and so I thought, this is Paul's angriest letter, and I was angry. It's not a good way to be a pastor. It's not a good way to translate the Bible, but I was angry.
Not a good way to start a project, perhaps.
No, but I didn't know I was starting a project. And so I decided I would preach Galatians, and then I would first have a Bible study on Galatians, then I would preach on Galatians for a year, and then I would see what would come of that. So I started out with my class in the basement of our church. About 14 people meet every Sunday morning. And I'd put on a pot of coffee and hot water for tea and get things ready for them. And then they'd drink coffee and sip tea, and we'd talk about the biblical text. But this time I thought I was going to do Galatians. So I translated Galatians, I didn't translate to start with. I taught them Galatians. And after the second or third week, they just weren't getting it. All they was doing was stirring milk and sugar into their coffee, styrofoam cups. And I came home that second Sunday, and I said to Jan, I'm going to teach them Greek. If they read in Greek, they'll get it. And she said, that'll really empty the place out fast. So I thought, well, I'll translate them into the Greek, the way the Greek sounds to me, into American. And I did that for 2 Sundays, and I typed this out, Xeroxed the pages, passed it around the tables. And after the second Sunday of that, as I was cleaning up afterwards, all the coffee cups were full of cold coffee. And I knew I had them. So we did that for a year. And that was the first time I'd systematically tried to get the language of the Bible, the language of the New Testament, into American vernacular.